Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chiamazing Show. This is Chiamazing here, bringing you some gaming type news and stuff for this Wednesday, September 12th. I almost said August again like last time. What is with me in August? Anyway, a lot of things happened today or this past week. Then I didn't do a Monday show because I passed the hell out. Been kind of going comatose on Mondays. I need to fix that. Anyway, a lot of things have happened this past week. First thing we're going to talk about is Borderlands 2. There have been a few Borderlands 2 reviews posted. All of them have been pretty positive so far. We've had finalized details on the Mechromancer DLC class. It's going to come out October 16th. The character's name is Gage, and it will cost $9.99 for people who do not pre-order. We've also heard from Randy Pritchford that he would like for Borderlands 2 to be on Vita, and a quote, "If some other studio was capable, could be trusted by us, by a publishing partner, and by Sony, and someone wanted to invest in making that happen, I think Sony should step up and make that happen." So hopefully Sony will step up and make that happen, because that would be really nice to have Borderlands 2 on Vita also, especially with cloud save shares. That would be pretty cool. I think he talked about that a little bit too. I personally, that would be cool. Play it on my console, save to the cloud, and be able to continue playing on my Vita. That would be pretty awesome. Tomorrow we will have the WiiU Preview event. Pretty much expecting the official release date and pricing to come out, even though can't say 100% sure release date and prices, but there has been, a fairly unanimous release date and some pricing thrown out there. We kind of know a lot about the console, so there's not a lot that they can say that would be too surprising, but we should be able to find official details about it. And some not so cool news: 2 Bohemia Interactive employees were arrested in Greece for photographing an airbase. They're being accused for espionage and face up to 20 years. That's not so cool. I don't really know what to say about that, considering the situation there with Greece and Turkey, and I understand Greece's stance on it because of that, but a lot of people don't know what's going on there. Terraria is headed to Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, and that is awesome, because Terraria is an awesome game. I've played it a lot with Total. We actually played a lot. So if you haven't played Terraria, it is like a 2D. I don't know, the easiest way to explain it is kind of like a 2D version of Minecraft. Not really, but kinda. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance was cancelled on Xbox in Japan. Before you freak out, it still will be coming out on Xbox everywhere else, but cancelled on Xbox in Japan, and it's more than likely due to the console not performing very well in Japan. It sells or horrible in Japan. Speaking of consoles, the PS3 firmware that's going to increase the cloud storage to 1 GB should be hitting today in North America, so you should already have it if you've updated or if you're a Plus member. And if not, you're like me and you're having to download an update that's not really going to do anything for you. So that part sucks. Microsoft has applied for a patent on immersive display experience. What that means is you have a primary display device like your TV, and then you will have peripheral images projected around you. There's a lot of details with that tie into some of the stuff we've heard from them or seen patents from, like the Xbox gaming headset or the new Kinect with the depth filter to be able to determine how large your room is. So that's interesting. I wouldn't expect it on the next console, especially if they're applying for a patent now. I mean, it's entirely possible we could get it on the next console, and that would be crazy awesome and everything, but I'm not saying I would expect it. But still, it's a pretty interesting idea to have projected images around you to help immerse you into a game. And speaking of headsets and stuff, Microsoft's obviously considered it. They got the patent they filed a while back for the Xbox gaming headset thing. Valve has looked into and talked about doing a wearable display system, however you want to call it. Sony is actually set to show a prototype window. They're set to show a prototype head-mounted display, and it's got some weird, crazy name, and there's some little commercial you can watch. But they're set to show it at TGS, so that should be pretty interesting. I'm personally not the big. biggest person for wearing like a virtual type headset. I think it's concept's cool. The idea is cool, and a full immersion into a virtual world and everything, and that's, I think, what a lot of people are really wanting. But I'm not too keen on having to wear this big thing. It's just like the 3D thing with the 3D glasses. I'm not so big of a fan of having to wear a bunch of crap, but the pushing of the technology is pretty interesting and pretty cool. Valve also this past Monday went into the beta for their big picture mode for Steam, where you can have Steam on your television. So that's pretty interesting. Like, it's being formatted for television and set up for television. That could be an early precursor to see how things go with that, and see what the feedback gets on that to determine what they're going to do as far as additional hardware. Maybe one day soon we'll actually have Steam box. It's hard to say at the moment, but there's a lot of Valve news, because you also have that whole deal with the EA's buyout of Valve, and how that got blown way out of proportion. It's basically a New York Times article that was like, EA's considered buying Valve, or attempting to buy Valve, and has talked about buying Valve, but it never went into negotiations. They considered paying up to $1 billion or some shit like that for Valve, and it got blown way out of proportion. In fact, there were people who honestly were like, EA's trying to buy Valve, and it really wasn't that progressed. Due to that, EA's Facebook page kind of got, like, I don't know if you say hacked, because it was really just pictures, and it's tagged with pictures, but anyway, got hacked with pictures put up of Gabe, and also a lot of hentai porn. Insomniac's Overstrike has been renamed Fuse, and the game has changed from a slightly cartoony game to a slightly more realistic. It's not like super realistic like, you know, Call of Duty style games or anything, but definitely is more realistic than it originally was. It looks pretty nice so far. Uplay may be incorporating third-party titles fairly soon. I think they're trying to turn Uplay into a Steam-like service with additional functionality. I don't know how well they'll turn out, because Steam pretty much, it was the first of its type, and it's really evolved to a level beyond just digital distribution. Pretty much, I don't see how Uplay is really going to be very competitive. What I do want to end this today's show on is talking about the Apple keynote, because they had that today, and the iPhone 5 looks kind of nice. Supposedly, you're either a Apple fanboy or you're a Droid fanboy. I personally am not really either one of them. I prefer my iPhone over a Droid-based phone, and I prefer my PC over a Mac. So, but I was fairly impressed with the iPhone 5. The 4-inch screen is gonna be nice. I'm not one of those people that I know. I saw some people who wanted a bigger screen than that. I personally feel 4 inches is my cutoff for a phone. I don't really want anything much bigger. The new headphones, which are available to buy today, the EarPods, they look weird, and not entirely sure how comfortable they would be, but they look like they might produce better sound quality, so that's something to keep an eye on. And if anybody actually goes and gets some, let me know how they sound, because I might try to get some. They didn't talk about the iPad mini, which I was really hoping they would at least say something about it. They talked about all the new iPods, the new Touch, the new Nano. The new Nano was probably the most impressive of all the iPods. They talked about a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to go into it in super great detail, because there's a lot of people already doing that, and then my show's not really about tech, it's more about gaming news. But it's definitely something to look at, especially if you do like Apple products, or you are a current iPhone user, to check out and look at the new iPhone to see if you might want to upgrade to it, because it does look pretty nice. And for current iPhone users or iPad users, the new iOS unfortunately is not available right now. I was really hoping after the keynote they would push it out, but no, it will be available September 19th. That's something I'm looking forward to, because I really would like the expanded functionality of Siri, because Siri in concept is really cool to me, but it doesn't do enough. But hopefully Siri will advance with this update and be much more useful than it currently is. That, and I'm really looking forward to adding people to the block list for calls. That's all I have for today. Check us out again Friday for more gaming type news and stuff, and I will see you guys then.